Shatter from the Foreign Minister, and both of you shook your heads. You didn't say anything, you just shook your heads. No.
Please.
Yes, I want that corrected. Check the record.
Thank you.
I asked the question and you shook your heads when I asked was there a letter from Mr. Shatter.
You should not include in this.
Well, as I said, the situation is very clear here. The letter that was received. There's a court case listed in this matter also. The letter was received, was sent to the Count Corla on the 25th of November 2014 by Deputy Shatter in respect of the Gearan report and the proposed terms of reference for a commission of investigation. That was sent to written to the Count Corla on the 25th of November. I received a letter, my private secretary received a letter on the 8th of December 2014 enclosing a copy of that letter. And that was a covering letter from the legal firm of solicitors, and in that letter, acting on a copy of the letter that Deputy Shatter sent to the Count Corla. So, Deputy Shatter wrote to the Count Corla on the 25th of November. My office received a copy of that letter on the 8th of December with a covering letter from the legal firm of solicitors Gallagher Shatter. And in that letter, they requested that the reference in the terms of reference to the Minister for Justice and Equality would be withdrawn. So the private secretary had previously written to the firm of solicitors indicating that when the terms of reference would be approved by the government, that the legal firm would be notified. And he indicated that at its meeting on the 19th of November, the government proceeded to approve a draft order to establish a commission of investigation under the Commission of Investigations Act of 2004. So that was the correspondence that came through there. Now, the point is...
The last day before Christmas, when this House had finished, you decide...
Deputy Dail.
At its meeting of the 19th of November, the government approved the terms of reference. The letter that came to me was not about this debate, it was about a request to remove the reference to the Minister for Justice and Equality from the terms of reference. Obviously that the terms of reference speak for themselves where that reference is still included. So the Count Court has ruled on that basis under 57.3 that a debate cannot be held on the terms of reference. And government are very clear on the terms of reference. All right, Count Court has so ruled.
Thank you. No, sorry, Deputy. Sorry.
Some sense of how serious this is. It goes to the heart of what this Dail is upon the courts as per the Count Corla's ruling. There is no, to me, rational logic. So I ask that the Dail be adjourned. The Taoiseach is refusing to withdraw the motion. I think he should. And pending that, I think the Dail should be adjourned. And I want some substantive answer from the Count Corla's office as to what is going on here and why this has happened. Because if we haven't got it, I would ask Count Corla, you're in the chair, you can make a ruling to adjourn on this specific issue. Because it's unacceptable what's going on.
Sorry,
I'm asking, would the Taoiseach accept?
Sorry, Deputy, the Taoiseach's on his feet.
Yesterday, the Chief Whip informed the whips of the other parties of the decision of the Count Corla, and they were quite free at that stage to take the matter up with the Count Corla's office.
Sorry, no, Deputy O'Quila must read the case. Deputy O'Quila has the floor.
I ask the Taoiseach to explain. I ask the Taoiseach how to explain how a decision of the House now not to proceed with this matter, deferring it for a number of days, would be in any way in conflict with the Count Corla's view. It would not be, but it would very certainly allow for an opportunity for proper engagement, proper explanation, and then in the full information we could then relook at the matter. To proceed now, Taoiseach, would be absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. And I appeal to you.
Please.
I appeal to you, Taoiseach. Do not set this particular address of these matters off on this very, very poor beginning. This would be a sham, absolutely. We need to have full clarity, and that's not available to us.
Thank you. Briefly.
Asking for copies of the correspondence and any legal advice or the whole narrative in relation to the lead up to this, and the Taoiseach has an answer. Will the correspondence that you have and that the Count Corla has, will that be released to members? And is it not fair to ask then that while we're waiting for that to happen, that this matter would not be dealt with by this House, and that the House, if necessary, would be adjourned, that perhaps members on this side might wish to seek
We're gone away now from the leaders.
So I've asked a question, Count Corla.
I've
asked the Taoiseach.
We've found the order of business now.
But it's a point of order, and he has
I just asked the Taoiseach, I would ask the Taoiseach can this matter be deferred to the Court of Back?
The Cabinet made a very clear decision to set up a commission of investigation. And it did so on the context of the advice of the Attorney General, who does not advise the Count Corla, and the Attorney General advises the government. And the government made this decision in the terms of reference of their dealing with the outcome of the investigation into certain matters in the Cavan-Monaghan area arising from the Gearan report. Now, the notification was sent yesterday by email from the Whip's office to all of the other Whips, and you chose not to follow that through. Minister for Justice received her letter this morning. The Whip actually followed through with the CPP, the Committee of Procedure and Privileges, but the ruling of a Count Corla is not reversible. The ruling of the Count Corla is the Count Corla's ruling, and he has made his ruling. He has made his ruling. Count Corla has made his ruling, and he has ruled that he has found that under 57 subsection 3 that a debate is not allowable on the terms of reference of this Commission of Investigation in the manner in which he has interpreted those rulings. The government set out to have the Commission of Investigation set up. The government set out to have terms of reference debated. The Count Corla, in his independence, in his utter independence, has made his ruling that a debate is not allowed under that. And as I said to you, the correspondence that came to me, Debbie Adams, last year was from the legal firm with a copy of the letter that went to the Count Corla requesting that the reference to the Minister for Justice and Equality would not be part of the terms of reference. The government, as you know, left it as part of that, and what we need to do now is get on with setting up this Commission of Investigation, which is very important, and ask that you put the vote to it now, Count Corla.
I put the proposal on the floor.